All right, welcome everyone to the iNRS Racing Series, and tonight we are at Richmond Richmond Raceway in Virginia, and we are here for the Cookout 200. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. I'm Rick Souza here with my co-broadcaster John Jerudris, and John, this is a challenging track for some drivers. Some drivers love it, some drivers struggle.
Absolutely. It's one of the tracks here on the iNRS circuit that, like you said before, some drivers love it, some drivers hate it. And, at this point, we are in a day race, and so it's going to be interesting to see the grip level change throughout the race. It's going to be interesting to see how these drivers navigate. Typically, Richmond is a little bit of a trickier track to navigate just due to the throttle control, due to passing, due to a lot of different factors with pit strategy. So we'll see how that turns out tonight. Previous winner of this race was Jordan Wenzel, who is currently sitting second in points. And Rick, let's talk about the top 10 in points. Right now, again, Jordan Booth, Jordan Wenzel 1 and 2, followed by Corey Bunch in third, Alex Murphy in fourth, Vernon Broadbeck in fifth, Tyler Lemon sixth, Michael Whitley in seventh, Alex Forget-Berube in eighth, Eric Jeffers in ninth, and Jacob Musso in 10th. And so with Brendan Hayes missing yet another week, the battle inside the top 10 really gets more intense as these weeks goes on. With his win, Alex Forget moves up to 8th in the regular season standings, sitting 32 points behind 7th place. And Vernon Broadbeck continues his hot streak and inches ever so close to Murphy for 4th in the points battle. The battle for 16th, though, has gotten very, very tight and interesting. The 13 of Nick Alves missing too many races. He's now lost entire playoff eligibility, which has now brought Tony Japps into the playoff picture. However, he is sitting 5 points out, sitting 5 points out and hungry for a playoff spot is Mr. Vince Burns. So, Rick, we have some drivers missing races that are causing some point shakeups. You have some drivers that are bouncing all around, but one thing that has not changed, the team standings. Number one, Full Throttle, dominated with Roadrunner in second, and Apex Motorsports there now in third place. Currently a great point battle there, but let's talk about really quick, Rick, who's in? Who has locked themselves into the playoffs so far?
So right now, those drivers that have locked themselves into the playoffs right now are Jordan Booth, Jordan Wenzel, Corey Bunch, Alex Forget, Vernon Broadbeck, Tyler Lamb, Brendan Hayes, Martin Giroux, and Simon Magin. And just so you're aware, and we've seen that second purple car running tonight, so yes, Brandon Hayes has made it to the show. So the 40 of Brandon Hayes is here tonight at Richmond.
All right, well, he'll be a factor, I would imagine, definitely trying to make up some of those points that he lost. And, talking about some drivers that are hot right now is the 55 of Vince Burns. He continues to do everything he can to push himself into the playoff picture, and over the last 5 races, he's sitting at 3 top 10s and 1 top 15 finish, sitting only 5 points out of the playoff picture. The 55 could very well see himself in that top 16 when the checkers fly tonight. The next driver on a little bit of a hot streak is the 24 of Matt Pericini there with back-to-back top 10 runs. He's still in the hunt for a much-needed win to make the playoffs. However, both of these drivers are going to have to go through the 77 of Corey Bunch. He won this race in the spring, and you have to go all the way back to Talladega in the middle of April to find a finish worse than 8th. So the driver to 77 is sure to be a staple at the front of the field tonight. But Rick, talk about who's on the opposite side of this spectrum.
Yeah, definitely. Who's not been there is after a string of 6 top 10s and 7 starts, the driver, the number 30, Alex Murphy, has kind of found himself in a bit of a slump with 2 finishes outside the top 10. The driver, the 30, is looking to get back inside the top 10 at Richmond track, where he sat on the pole in Richmond and finished P2 to Corey Bunch. Also, the driver of the Krispy Kreme machine, Michael Whitley, has found himself in a slump the last 2 races as well, with 2 finishes sub-15th. The driver of the 94 looks to repeat what he did last fall at Richmond, where he brought it home P3. Also, a driver who's locked into the playoffs but sitting on back-to-back sub-20th place runs is the 46 of Simon Magin. The Canadian finished P6 here in the spring and would love to have a repeat performance tonight.
Absolutely, he would. Right now, drivers are making their way to qualifying, and it's a really good time to talk about some of the best who have exceeded and performed very well at this track. As always, the Jordan and Jordan Show will likely be at the front, but don't rule out the top two from the spring, Corey Bunch and Alex Murphy. Keep an eye on those guys, as well as Tyler Lem and Matt Piracini, as we see Jordan Winsel hit the track here for qualifying. Rivalries, talk about them very briefly. Not really much happening last week at Pocono, so we'll see if the short track tempers pick up again tonight. And Rick, it's Richmond. The playoffs are coming, and I'm just going to leave it at that. That's just it's how it is. Yep. Tempers are going to fly here in the Cookout 200. So looks like everybody's making their way out on to the track right now. And if you want, let's go through some of the track facts for tonight.
Absolutely. So let's bring those up, and here we go.
So 82-degree day, 60% humidity, overcast skies with 11-mile-per-hour winds, with 200 laps. Stage break at lap 66. One quick repair, 5 sets of tires, 60% fuel.
Small change. Actually, that's been removed. So that quick repair was back in the spring race, but it is not part here of the fall race.
Well, that just makes things 10 times more interesting, because without that quick repair, that really flips the race on its head. You're going to see drivers, hopefully, be a lot more patient. We will see. But as I was saying, 60% fuel, 3 green, white checker restarts, pretty typical stuff there. Track temp at just about 101 degrees as these drivers make their way out for qual right now. And really quick, just looking at some preliminary top 5 and top 10, Jacob Mousseau has been very strong in qualifying the last couple weeks. He's right now shown in 3rd, but Rick, that could be a driver that could make a splash in these playoffs. You never know.
Absolutely. We've been calling out Jacob's name in that 25 car repeatedly here. And so let's see if he can have some success today. Again, Richmond's one of those tracks where you need that consistency to be successful.
Yeah, you got to be consistent, and you have to know where your braking points are. You have to know where your brake bias is. It's something that a lot of drivers have a hard time with, because when you adjust your brake bias throughout the race, obviously you're trying to combat the tire wear. So I'm curious to see how these drivers are going to play out tonight. Let me ask you this. Do you typically adjust your brake bias during the race, or are you one of those drivers that just sticks with the same brake bias the entire race?
No, I set it up how I best feel after practice, but in the race, as I'm feeling how it goes, I make that change at my first pit stop and see if I made the right choice. If not, I'll just flip it back. Luckily, you can make that change on the fly with an app or two. So,
absolutely. But looking at the top of the board, Rick, 2 drivers that we talked about excelling here. The top 2, Corey Bunch, Alex Murphy. Look at where they are right now, 1 and 2, with Jacob Mousseau there in 3rd. Now, we still got some cars out on the track. Still have about a minute and a half left of qualifying. So we'll see what happens. But look, Jordan Booth all the way back in 14th right now. Alex Forget-Ruby all the way back in 11th. I mean, the top 10, obviously you have Broad Beck, you have Jordan Winsel, but pretty new faces up there at the top.
Yeah, but this is also one of those tracks with 200 laps, knowing you don't have the quick repair. It's easy to make a mistake. Turn 1 and 2 bite a lot of drivers. It's easy if you miss your entry into 1. It's super hard to recover in 2. And the other factor here that is going to be playing havoc all day is braking points. I know we say this all the time on short tracks, but every driver is different. Everybody has a different point at which they begin to brake. And if you're not paying attention lap after lap, you'll wind up in someone's rear bumper and potentially ending your day.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. We see it all the time, Rick. We see it all the time with this track. And it's just a product of this racing. When you have the field bunched up like it will be, it'll be a fierce battle, and just trying to make sure everybody plays it cool going into turn 1 is a big factor in who can make it through this race. So really quick, before we get the starting lineup, let's talk about my 3 keys. We can just dive into that very briefly. So here at Richmond, there's 3 main points that always come to mind. And the first one is going to be survival. You have to survive this freaking race. If you don't, then you will obviously end up at the back of the pack, and with no quick repairs, your race is done. So you have to survive. Number two, you have to be cognizant of tire wear. Definitely with this racetrack and the car and the lanes, you can adjust that a little bit, but I think you will have to manage that. And then stage points. I think this is going to be a race where you're going to see drivers try to maximize stage points, or on the flip side, not care about stage points to try to get the win. So it's going to be interesting to see some of the strategies and how they play out. Obviously, with that stage break at 66, but you got to survive. You got to be able to preserve your tires and make sure you don't burn everything up. And you have to be able to, if you're on the bubble, maximize those stage points. Some of the drivers that we talked about before, or if you're a driver up there in the top 5, top 6 in points, try to get a win. Don't worry about stage points per se.
Yeah, and if you, especially like I said, if you're on the cut line, stage points are important, and they could make a difference to whether you get in or not. But if you're just outside, you don't care about stage points. All you're looking to do is get in the show. All right, so right now we are under a little bit of a driver intermission right now. There's about 4 minutes left, just under 4 minutes, where instructions are given out by admin to the drivers as they get ready to embark on tonight's event. We thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast network of the iNRS Racing Series. We are here for you each and every Thursday night to bring you some of the best in what iRacing has to offer. Also, starting the 14th, which is, oh my gosh, it's next week, we'll bring you Season 5 of the Tech for Troops Cup Series. That is on Wednesday night. So we'll hopefully see you there as well. We'll have a whole new series taking us towards the Christmas holiday. We will have a ton of new drivers, new tracks. That league does a refresh twice a year, and looking forward to what that'll be. That's on Wednesday nights. But we appreciate you tuning in to our happy little broadcast channel here on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter, and we appreciate you following along.
Absolutely, should be a solid race. I think it'll be a decent race. I really believe it. I think with the playoffs on the line, people know what's at stake, and I think you're going to see some aggressiveness, but I don't think you're going to see a typical Richmond race, honestly. I don't think you're going to see things go absolutely haywire from flag to flag. So we'll see.
Yeah, last spring, John, we saw 18 cautions here, and we were hoping for a few less tonight. Again, we don't have a fast repair, so attrition will definitely be a factor. Tonight we've got, I think we've got 24 drivers in the field, possibly 25. We'll see. I know if you're on the East Coast, you know that we've all been battling and dealing with that massive storm, Debbie, that has kind of roared through, and it affects everybody. It impacted even our broadcast facilities a bit with some power issues, but we are up and hoping to stay that way the rest of the night.
Yep, we have officially 27 entries.
Oh, there we go.
Now, whether or not all 27 of those hit the track, I am a question. At least 26 turned a qualifying lap, so that tells you something right there.
That's right.
But we got about a minute left, and Rick, I'm looking at the timing of this race. This race is technically scheduled for 3 o'clock. Will this go into a night race?
I don't think so. I think it will just get that twilight potential, but they got lights here at Richmond. If it gets a little darker, they'll flip them on. So we'll see.
That will be fun. Yeah, it says the local time is 3:48 p.m. So we'll see how that actually plays out. So that obviously is a fun transition. I don't know about you, but I love going from day to night. I think it's so fun to race at night. Especially in these cars.
Well, it definitely
the car
adds
changes, the track changes. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely adds that factor of that. Now you bring in the environment, the weather. So very cool.
For sure. One thing you won't see tonight, which I have to make a point, This weekend, NASCAR is running the option tire as well as the primaries here at Richmond. You are not going to see that in iRacing tonight. It is going to be the primary only option. They do not have that available yet. But Rick, I would imagine it's going to come soon. They'll probably give that option at some point, I would imagine.
Yep, that would be a very cool feature. That gives the teams one more option about making a choice on the track. All right, well, we're about to that checkered flag of the warm-up period. That time is now over, and we are about to get our grid ready to go. As soon as we can bring you that grid, we will.
And he was waving away.
He was.
He's ready to get it going. He's like, stop stalling. We're gonna get this race underway. So, alrighty. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to give you your running order and your starting lineup for tonight's Cookout 200 presented by iNASCAR Racing Series. You have Corey Bunch on pole with Alex Murphy starting in second. Jacob Mousseau starting in third with Vernon Brodbeck there starting in fourth. Jordan Winsel starts in fifth. Matt Piracini starting in sixth. Brendan Hayes is back and starting in P7. Eric Jeffers do it outside in P8. Tyler Lem starts in P9th. And Garrett Walden starts in P10.
In 11th, you've got Corey Ennis. In 12th, Alex Forget Barubi. In 13th, Tony Japs. 14th is Ty Bostic. 15th, Jordan Booth. Jordan tapped the wall during qualifying. Unfortunately, that relegated him back to 15th. 16th, Austin Walton. 17th is Vince Burns. 18th, Michael Whitley Jr. 19th, Mike Wheel. And 20th, Clark Franz.
In 21st, you have Joe Musso. In 22nd, Eddie Musso. In 23rd, Ron Fitting. In 24th, you have Martin Pinnell. 25th, you have Richard Mills. 26th, Dan Hughes. 27th is Scott Thomas.
All right, and let's go ahead and see what we've got here. Let's get that grid going. The pace car is taking the drivers around. That formation is forming. Field is forming up into formation. I think Scott Thomas actually, unfortunately, just let me know across social media that he is out. Power has taken him out, unfortunately, so we may not see him. He could always come back if it comes back on, but right now, Scott Thomas is not in the field.
That's unfortunate for Scott. Well, we're going to get this race underway here very shortly. Corey Bunch on the front row.
Man, these guys have got to pay close attention to the driver in front of them. Be careful of braking points. The first 2 laps just to get acclimated and running with a pack of this size.
He definitely does. And we'll see what the leader does here and see where this race is going. Pace car dips down, ready to get green underway, and green flag is out here at Richmond. Field dives down into turn 1.
We got 3 wide
already. Oh boy, hold on. Still 3 wide there in the back. That is the 81 of Jordan Winslow going to the bottom line. Jacob Mousseau now moving back to P4. As Vernon Brodbeck now makes his way up to the high side around the 25, but the 25 gets under the 81 out of turn 4. 1 lap complete, and Rick, we made it.
We survived made lap 1.
Yep, we did.
All right, good racing as these drivers begin to settle themselves in all the way back through the field. Looking back, we'll see lots of drivers trying to advance their positions, especially here where you can, on fresh tires, you can dive into a corner, pick up a spot or 2 and work your way out. But as we said earlier, John's points, tire wear is king here. You can burn them up pretty fast and find yourself in 15 laps struggling to get yourself out of some of these corners.
You definitely can. And that's where you're seeing right now. Some of these drivers are just trying to survive, especially if you're on the high side. You can definitely have a slew of cars go underneath you as we make our way back through the field. There's the 40 of Brendan Hayes. Matt Piracini right behind him. You got a fierce battle going on there in the back. Looks like he might try to go 3 wide. That's the 99 of Tyler Lem. You have 3 wide coming out of turn 24.
That's the 41 of Jordan Booth trying to work his way back up after that disastrous qualifying effort. He is under the 12 of Eric Jeffers.
And he's in that black 41 this week, and I think he's trying to channel his inner intimidator a little bit because he did not start very well, so we'll see him up at the front. But right now, Corey Bunch leads with Alex Murphy in second, Jordan Wenzel in third, Vernon Broadbeck in fourth, Jacob Musso in fifth, Brendan Hayes, Matt Parasini, Garrett Walden, Jordan Booth, and Eric Jeffers round out the top 10. Rick, pretty calm and spread out over the first 6 laps.
Yeah, we'll take it for sure. These guys have got to work their field, jumping back up to the leaders in front. Corey Bunch continues to stretch out a little bit of space between the 30 of Alex Murphy and Jordan Wenzel there in third. A little bit farther back, look at the 25 of Jacob Musso. He's got the 40 of Brandon Hayes nipping at his bumper right there, trying to work his way around him.
And I think he's going to get to the inside here, going down into the turn 1.
He sure does, and that Matt Parasini is right there as well. And he's got Jordan Booth right there on his inside. So these purple people eaters are about to get hooked back up together here. They've got the band back together for tonight.
Yes, they do, and they should. I mean, it's a strong team up there, 40XLI, so we're very glad to see Brendan back and see what they're able to do as this field slowly starts to fan out a little bit. And really the only side-by-side battle we got is that battle right there that we're showing, the 24 right next to the 41. Everybody else in a conveyor belt.
Yeah, they're just working their way around. Again, this is 200 laps, and if we stay with lots of green flag racing, we'll have lots of changes of position as we come in for tires and fuel. So we'll kind of cue that up. This is a 1 mile track, John. What are we thinking about pit stops and timing?
Yeah, so with a 1 mile track, it's going to be somewhere between the, I guess, 60% fuel. It's going to be before the stage break at 66. So we know they can't run 66.
I think my first math here was somewhere around 48 or 52 laps, somewhere in there, but we'll see.
I would say somewhere around that mark. I have 51 and a half, but that seems to be right in the range that you said as well. So we'll see. It may be a little bit more than that with 60% fuel, but I have about 50 to 51 and a half right now that they can make it max. Now, obviously, if drivers let off a little bit more, they'll save a little bit more gas and they'll be able to go a little bit longer. But again, it's it can be a fuel mileage race towards the end of this thing, so you want to be able to get the most out of your car without tearing up your tires.
Absolutely. And obviously that's also talking about green flag racing. If we begin to see some cautions factor in here, then we may not. Oh, we got a car.
Oh, car in the grass.
Yep, that's the 96 of Mike Wheel. I think he just ran through the grass. But the 96 is back on track. Looks like no harm, no foul to the 96.
Yeah, no harm, no foul to the 96, but the grounds crew's not going to like that very much.
They're going to be pissed off.
Yeah, they'll be a little mad. They put so much work into it, and they're like, hey, we don't need to pay for another lawnmower. We have all the lawnmowers we need.
So you got the 81 all over the bumper there of Alex Murphy.
81 has been one of the fastest cars on track currently, the third fastest, right behind Corey Bunch and Vernon Broadbeck. So he's there. And we know that 81 can win. He's a previous, it said it was a previous winner here. He's won everywhere, so.
You have to go back and look. I could be wrong, but I thought there was a little bit of right front damage, but maybe not. Maybe not. Nothing so far that's popped up. He seems running just fine.
I just looked at this car. Yeah, definitely one on the inside there of the 30. Oh, 30, so contact. 81 sideways, gets into the 10. That causes the 81 to hit the barrels. Call the marshals. 81 is wrecked.
And we are under caution here. for that spin by Jordan Wenzel. He is definitely missing the nose off of that 81. That could be certainly a factor in his race tonight.
It looked like the 30, I don't know, it almost looked like the 30 went down, the 81 went up, and then the 81 got into the 10, trying to save it. And next thing you know, he was into the barrels.
Let's see if we can back up the tape and see just where we're at.
81 dove it in deep.
At 30 came down. Let's back up just a little bit.
Yeah. It looks like the 81 is moving up. If you look at the yellow line, though, the 81 is moving up from that yellow line because he enters in fairly low. And a couple, maybe a half second before he hits the 30, starts to move up.
Yeah,
right
tiny
there.
little bit. Yep, sliding definitely up. You know, we had 20 laps in, possibly a little bit loss of grip there, and unfortunately, there's that contact. And unfortunately, the 10 of Verdon Broadback is right there and hits him in the driver's door, which he winds up, unfortunately, tagging those barrels, which does some significant nose damage to that 81.
Yeah, his toe link is not too happy. I'm looking at the front end of his car on pit road, and Rick, that front of that car is not too pleased right now. And neither are the track marshals. They are not happy with those barrels and happy with the 81, but they'll get it cleaned up.
Trying to get a better shot from Jordan Wenzel's car right now. We're looking at some different camera views that we've got, but yeah, there's definitely some repairs in need on that 81. All right, unfortunately, that is our first incident here of the day. Here at lap 21 for an incident between, a little bit of contact between the 30 of Alex Murphy and the 81. Unfortunately, right at the front of Jordan Wenzel. Jordan's day may be in jeopardy. We'll see how it all plays out.
And Rick, just looking at the point standings, I mean, it'll affect Jordan a little bit, but you know, he still has won races. He'll be in the playoffs, so that's kind of the good thing. The bad thing is, you know, sometimes when you have one bad race, I don't think it'll happen with Jordan, but sometimes it can carry over. Same thing with good races. So let's hope Jordan can make his way back out there. Also, there's a lot of laps left, so he may be able to come back. I mean, right now he's only 2 laps down, so with a stage break, he's actually back out of the pits. He just pulled out of the pits right now, so I mean, if he could stay on the lead lap, Rick, he may be able to come back and finish this race if you have a lot of retirements.
Yeah, this is not one of those aero tracks. You know, that's really not a factor so much here. So if it's really just cosmetic, then he should be relatively okay.
Yeah, and we're back to green flag racing here at Richmond. Your leader, 77, Corey Bunch, in that Steak and Shake Mustang, trying to shake and bake his way into the winner's circle. I love that one. I had to do it, Rick. I'm sorry. I had to say it.
It's all good. But what you do see is the 40 and the 41 are right there now up in front. They're occupying third and fourth. So just Alex Murphy between them and the 77 of Corey Bunch.
Yeah, it's getting a little, you know, it is getting a little packed right there.
Jordan, a little bit of spin. That's the 94 Michael Whitley that just saved it.
Yep, there was another car behind him that also got loose, so definitely loose conditions on these older tires.
Again, that will play a factor here as we're in 25 laps. No contact in the back. Got someone slam into the wall. Not sure who that was.
I'm looking right now. I don't see it.
We're kind of jumping back through the field here just to see what we can see. I think right there, that blue car
That's Alex?
No, I think it's the 20 of Martin Pinnell that had contacted the wall. We do have Alex for Jay Ruby is on pit road.
That's for a penalty. Black flag.
Oh.
Actually, it's a meatball flag. Oddly enough. Okay.
All right. Not sure exactly what had happened to the 19. See if we can figure that out.
But as we stand, Corey Bunch out front, Alex Murphy in second, Jordan Booth up 12 to third, Vernon Broadbeck in fourth, and Brendan Hayes rounds out your top five. 28 out of 200 laps complete here at Richmond. Thank you all for tuning in to the night's Cookout 200. If you've enjoyed the action so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another one of these iNRS races, as well as our other races that are going on. Obviously, the Tech for Troop Cup Series coming back as well, and any other future events that we have going on here on the IWM Broadcast Network.
Corey Bunch continues to show us the lead, but now you've got Jordan Booth up under the 30 of Alex Murphy and taking over, or trying to take over, second place here. Alex is he's not giving up easy.
Oh, we got some action on the radio. I don't know what's happening. Something between the 15 and the 24 possibly, or 28?
Well, 15 is Clark France. He's back there with the 42 and the 22.
I had some 17 sideways.
Yep. That's Austin Walton. He spins, but he's pointing in the right direction. Caution has not come out. We are not under caution. Back up front. Still that door-to-door battle between the 41 and the 30. Little edge to the 41 here. But these are old tires, so get a little harder to get around that 30, and there's almost contact. These guys are swapping positions here back and forth. 41 gave up second to the 30. 30 slipped right back into second place. Lap 34, we are just past the halfway point to our stage break.
And you know what I'm going to be curious about? I'm going to be curious to see if these drivers can potentially squeeze it out on fuel. Save a little bit, see what happens. Maybe if they get another caution, try to extend this and maybe make their pit stop a couple laps before the stage break. Obviously, they're going to have to come down pit road. Or I guess if you pit under, I guess Richmond's one of those places where you don't want to get trapped a lap down by going on, on pit road when there's a stage break, because you'll get trapped. I guess you will get the wave around, but it's not like a normal track where you'll cycle. Well, I guess you could cycle through, Rick, right?
Yeah, I guess you could, but it's certainly, it's really a 1 mile track, so any time on pit road is going to cost you laps. Now the 41 of Jordan Booth has now got the 10 of Vernon Broadbeck on his bumper.
Yeah, Broadbeck is running faster laps than Jordan Booth right now by about 0.15 of a second. We'll see what it is at the line. Jordan Booth at the line ran a 23 flat. Broadbeck ran a 23.18. So definitely some factors going on, but one driver that has checked out has been Corey Bunch, out to a 2-second lead right now. Corey is dangerous at this track.
He sure is. We'll bring up that gap information you can see. You know, with clean air in front, it's your race to lose if you're the leader. He still has almost half the track before he'll come up on the 17 of Austin Walton. who is currently the last car on the lead lap. "40 laps in the books. There is a battle back here. Certainly, Mike Wheel was battling Eddie Musso Jr. for a while there. He's definitely towards the back end of the pack, but you know, these guys, even the back of the field, they're still racing for position. This is not an easy track. Oh, right there, you see the 6.
Oh.
That's Dan Hughes. He saved it.
What a save there by, I was going to say Brad Keselowski.
Right? Dan Hughes.
I mean, that was a veteran-like save there, though. What a save by the 6.
All right, back up front, we've got the leader, Corey Bunch. He's got, again, 2.22 second lead over second place Alex Murphy as he continues to chip away at stage 1 with just 44 laps now in the books. That leaves 22 laps to go.
22 to go, and we're already almost a quarter of the way through the race. This race has been pretty good. I mean, I was expecting that when you drop a quick repair and you're close to the playoffs, you typically start to see these drivers pay a little bit more attention to what's going on track. Plus, they've been here before. That's a big thing. You know, we've often seen the spring races, no matter the league, get pretty hairy, to say the least. And when we come to the fall, it typically improves. And like we've seen here today, you know, it's been a much cleaner race. And kudos to these guys. Gotta love to see it, and gotta love to see the talent displayed right now.
All right, solid effort being put in here by the 77 Ford of Corey Bunch. He has just absolutely commanded this race so far in that Benjamin Moore Paints sponsored car. But don't look too far back. You know, Alex Murphy is there. He's got the 41 of Jordan Booth trying to make an effort, but the 40, and I don't want to miss this fact, Jordan Booth started in 15th. He is now up 12 spots, now up to 3rd, and he's got his teammate, Brandon Hayes, who we haven't seen in a minute, now up to 4th. He's picked up 3. Now, Richmond's just one of those tracks where, you know, it kind of looks and feels a bit like a mile-and-a-half track, but it definitely drives like a short track.
It definitely does, and that's where a lot of these drivers, you either like it or you don't. So,
one of our viewers, Nathan Lamb on YouTube, is asking for the top 5 in the spring race. We'll have to go back and dig up some.
Yeah,
some
I'll pull up some stats.
Yep,
absolutely. I'll do some research in there. I know it was Corey Bunch and Alex Murphy 1-2.
Chipping over to Sim Racer Hub to try and bring up some data.
Yep. So Jordan, that seems a little odd. Because Jordan Booth in first, Jordan Winsel in second, Murphy, Magin, and Bunch top 5.
Yeah, that's how it finished.
Something in those stats must have been wrong on our sheet. Maybe we just misread it. But no, Jordan Booth, Jordan Winsel, Alex Murphy, Simon Magin, and Corey Bunch was your top 5.
Yeah, I think it was. I think we're talking about who won it last year in the fall, which was Jordan Wenzel.
Yep, that is true. That is true. Well, we got about 13 laps remaining until we get the stage break. And Rick, I'm curious to see if some of these guys are going to come down pit road before the stage.
I think that caution may have allowed them to stay out. What I do know is Corey Bunch has just around a 3-second lead over Alex Murphy, and Alex Murphy's got a little bit of a gap between himself and the mess behind him. That's tight with Booth, Hayes, and Musso now right there running 3, 4, and 5. As we're chasing stage points, Jacob Musso wants that position.
He does. Here he goes down to the inside. Can he make the pass? He's going to try again here in turn 1.
Behind him, there's a lot of jockeying for a position with Broadbeck, Corianis, and Garrett Walden as well.
Yeah, got a lot of side-by-side battles going on right now at this portion of the race.
Well, laps are ticking away here.
Yep. See that 25 trying to get a run on the 41.
He's under him.
He's there. Can he secure the spot? He's there out of the corner. That 41's going to have a nice drive into 1.
I don't know what the fall off. It doesn't appear to be huge on these tires. I'm just looking at the best times and last times. It's somewhere just around a 1-second fall off.
Yep, just about a second.
There was a little bit of contact. I thought the 10 wound up potentially in the safer barrier there.
I think he did. Yeah, he's back up against the wall. He definitely has some right side damage now as the 12 tries to go underneath. That is Eric Jeffers. Garrett Walden up there in P7. Vernon Broadbeck try. Ooh, Eric Jeffers hard into the wall. Here comes the 10 down to the inside line. Trying to make a pass on that 12. Here comes. Now the 24 got a little loose.
Well, 59 laps, 60 laps on these tires.
The gap is growing. 3.4 seconds for your leader, Corey Bunch, over Alex Murphy. Jordan Wenzel now 2 laps down, and so is Alex Forget-Berube due to that penalty. Almost 3 wide there. They're close.
All right, with 5 laps to go, big battle here. This is for 10th. And the last stage point right now, that's a 10 of Vernon Broadbeck. But he's a lot of challengers. The 99 is right there. 22 to his outside.
Oh, almost contact, and here comes the 24. '24 now in 11th, trying to get around that 22. Oh, 24 dips way down to the bottom. Here comes the 10. Oh, 24 is going to have a hard line up the road, pushes the 10 up the track. Not sure if the 10's going to be too pleased with that move.
That entry certainly caused cause and effect for sure.
Here comes the 10 driving down now underneath the 24, but the spot is on now. 22 is in that last spot for a playoff point here for the stage with just 2 laps to go.
Jumping back up front, it looks like that's going to be pretty stagnant here unless the 25 of Jacob Musso can make it around the 40 of Brandon Hayes.
He's trying.
About a lap and a half left.
Also, it looks like the 22 is about to go around the 12 for P9. That's going to move the 12 back into the final spot there.
Big battle there, even up in just in front of them with Tyler Lem and Garrett Walden in the 43. There's a little bit of contact there that allowed the 22 now to come up after this lap here. That flag should fly, and that will be our stage break.
Yep, here comes the 22 now underneath the 99 of Tyler Lem, trying to get as many points as he can get. And that last playoff point there is going to be a battle. 24 dives way deep into turn 3 into caution. Just, whoa, wow, that was kind of, I guess the leader already hit the line. I was thinking, wow, the battle's right there. No, the leader's already way up at the front. I guess they could race to the, well, I guess it was still caution flag no matter what. So your position stalls the caution. Yep.
So from bottom to top, 10 is Jeffers, 9 is Bostic, 8 is Lem, Walden 7, Booth is 6, Ennis in 5, Musso 4, Hayes 3, Murphy 2, and your leader, Corey Bunch, takes those stage points. All right, pace car has made its way out onto the track. We expect the entire field to make their way down onto pit road. So a great stage 1 here, John. Just one caution with, unfortunately, a bit of contact with the 81 of Jordan Wenzel.
Yeah, but couldn't have asked for more. Great stage.
Absolutely. Leaders are making their way down. The entire field is making their way down onto pit road here at Richmond, where our eyes are currently on your leader, the 77 of Corey Bunch, as he executes his pit stop. You see the car up on its right sides, fuel going in.
Going to be up on the left side, yep.
We're watching his clock, 14.42. That's a fabulous stop here at Richmond.
And 3 wide out of the gate there for third, I think. Jacob Musso got it.
I think he did too. All right, great racing here at Richmond. Again, thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network of the iNRS series. We're going to give you we're going to break away for a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in.
Athletic Training Solutions specializes in on-site health and wellness programs for industrial athletes. We focus on the treatment and management of work-related injury and illness, as well as employee health and wellness. As one of the leading providers of occupational health services, we serve businesses of all sizes and types. Our experienced, certified athletic trainers work with each client organization to minimize employee disability, promote employee health and wellness, and help to control healthcare costs. We work with a network of doctors that are trained with an understanding of OSHA recordables and the first aid treatment approach to help keep your employees at work.
Our mission at Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. Our focus is providing the highest level of service to our clients, including successful business owners, professionals, and non-profit organizations. Our commitment is to helping you improve your financial position, reach your financial goals, and safeguard your family and business. Our goal is to provide you with the resources and guidance necessary to accomplish these objectives. Our process utilizes a thorough and exclusive financial analysis, efficient implementation of recommendations, and continual reevaluation of fluctuating dynamics. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial.
All right, welcome back to Richmond in the Cookout 200 here in the iNRS Racing Series. We are coming off our stage break caution here at lap 66. It's now lap 72. Pace car is down, and we are about to go back to green flag racing.
Here we go. Green flag back in the air here for the iNRS series at Richmond. Wow, what a jump by the 77. He's like, hey guys, y'all can battle out for yourselves. I'm going to check out here as the rest of the field dives down 3 wide.
30.
30 gets really loose. Oh, this is going to be hairy. This is not good.
Fresh tires or cold tires? Cold tires are slippery.
Especially right here into turn 1. Everybody tries to dive it down super deep. You see the 30 again all the way up at the top of the track.
Number of drivers making contact with that safer barrier.
And looking at some guys that are a lap down, Alex, 4J Berube now 1 lap down, Richard Mills.
43 sideways, spins a 30 of, we got a whole bunch of folks involved. Big caution here. 24 is involved, 30 is involved, 10 is involved.
And we're still wrecking.
We are still wrecking.
Wait, well,
Broadback, Fitting, Burns, Musso, Mills, Pinnell, Tyro Lem, all involved.
Aye.
Give us a second, folks. We'll have to dissect this one here.
Looks like we got some civil conversations going on in the race.
I'm sure. So you see the 43 begin to lose grip right there on the backstretch.
Yeah. There's nowhere to go for the 30.
Yep. Unfortunately, he collects the 30. We'll just continue to let this play out a bit. And see him spinning around. Unfortunately, this is where things stack up. You got the 22 of Bostic.
99 of Tyler Lem right there. Nowhere to go. 24 Matt Perusini comes flying in.
Yep, unfortunately, he gets backed into by the 30th. You see the 3, the 55, and the 10 get collected there as well. And the rest of the field wisely tries to jump on those binders and slow themselves down. All right, number of those drivers you just saw are now on pit road, trying to get maybe some fresh tires again, or more importantly, maybe get a little bit of damage fixed.
For sure. And just to note, Jordan Wenzel has officially retired from the race.
So 3 retirees.
Jordan and Jordan show.
You got Jordan Wenzel, Dan Hughes, and Scott Thomas have all retired.
It will not be the Jordan and Jordan show tonight here at Richmond. It's been all Corey Bunch, followed by Jacob Musso, Dio Jordan Booth in 3rd, Brendan Hayes in 4th, Corey Ennis in 5th, Eric Jeffers in 6th, and it looks like Bostic, Whitley, Japs, and Franz are your top 10.
Looks that way. Only car on pit road right now is the 99 of Tyler Lem. He was involved in that incident. Now, very often here at iRacing, you'll do that if you are involved to do a couple of things. One, it may just be that you're just coming in for a quick bit of service, but also it gives you an idea of just what the extent of any damage you have. And you can get a good bit fixed just by sitting on pit road, and iRacing allows you to make those repairs. Here's the 99 coming back off of pit road. All right, we're looking back at our leader. You've got Corey Bunch is in charge. He's elected to take the outside line. The 25 of Jacob Musso moves down underneath.
See what kind of restart that 77 gets this time by. Great restart last time in the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. And we are off again here at Richmond. 25 tries to run from the 41. Not going to be able to do it. But holds the position. What a job from the 25.
Yeah,
now battles start to make their way through the pack.
This is the part that scares me the most. The restarts here, there's a lot of your 2, your 3 wide in the back. Oh, car going around. I think that's the...
He saved it. That was a 12. I see why it scares you. It scares me too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you haven't settled down. You're not in your line. You're not in a position where, okay, this is my repetitive motions here. I can kind of just move forward and develop a plan. You're trying to do that, and you're 2 and 3 wide.
Yeah, it doesn't really mix very well.
Oil and water.
Yeah, really. Unfortunate. We saw that with Ty Gibbs, unfortunately. I believe that happened to him.
Yep.
At least I think that was oil and water mixing together. Went out of the exhaust. But here we go. Field is now separated just a little bit. 25 is trying to get by the 41. Gotta tell you, Jacob Musso's been pretty strong last couple races. Watch out for him to make a splash here. We talked about it in the pre-race. I mean, he's been qualifying up front and staying there. Now everybody kind of minding their own business, making their way around Richmond. 113 laps to go here in the Cookout 200, presented by the iNASCAR Racing Series, brought to you by us, the IWM Broadcast Network. Thank you for tuning in, and hope you've enjoyed the show so far. Stay to the end. If your favorite driver finishes in the top 3, we will interview them at the end of the race, and that's always fun to hear their thoughts on the race, what their strategy was, and if they made any friends or any foes, clear up any beef.
Yeah, or start a new one.
Or exactly, or start more. I mean, it's a not a free for all, but we let them have free reign to really say what they want. Well, as it stands, Corey Bunch out front with Jordan Booth in second, Brendan Hayes in third, Jacob Musso in fourth, Corey Ennis in fifth, Ty Bostic, Broadbeck, Japs, Whitley, Musso. Round out your top 10.
Yeah, just digging for a few stats here real quick. Trying to...
Looks like we have some driver chatter going on, somewhat mid-pack. Things happening, some drivers getting side by side as we speak. 24 and the 12 now side by side. 12 trying to get around the 24 there in the back.
Now here's an interesting comment. We look back at the 25 of Jacob Musso, and you look at particular tracks. New Hampshire starts 5th, finished in 2nd. Nashville Superspeedway, 8th, top 10 finish. Pocono, 8th. Richmond, he finished 3rd here back in the in the spring, in March. So there's a lot of similarities in those tracks where he's finished top 10.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like as Vernon Broadbeck, I believe that was Vernon, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, I love looking at those trends because you can tell me a couple tracks that a driver has succeeded at, and I could probably tell you where he would finish, and that's a good trend to look at. Specifically, New Hampshire, flat track, a lot of throttle control. Same thing with Nashville, Pocono as well. And then obviously, Richmond, the track we're at right now, it makes a lot of sense to why he's currently running in P5.
All right, Corey Bunch continues to lead. Gap with those 40 XLI drivers running 2 and 3, just within 3 seconds. Oh, there's something going on. Let's go back. Saw a lot of action back
Vince
in the back.
to the inside of the 42. Yeah, this is something going on with the 42 too. Jeez.
Back in the 42 of Tony Japs. Got the 30 of Alex Murphy on his tail. A lot of action back in the back here. Drivers trying to work their way back up here.
Most definitely 22 cars on the lead lap. So
Just
one more caution.
Yeah,
and
couple
he was
laps.
back in his race.
That's right, a couple laps away from the halfway point here at Richmond.
And with them going green about lap 70, I expect that they should have pit stops somewhere around 50 laps, so that would be about 120, and then pit stops again at lap 170. They'd be good to go to the end. So we'll see how drivers decide to split that last one up, or if they'll split it half and half, if they'll try to do a little short pit coming early. It does look like there is some fall off, but right now at about 20 laps, the fall off is roughly about 0.6 of a second. But as it stands, though, 77 out front doing his thing, like we've seen him do very often here in the iNRS series. That gap has now grown to 1.5 seconds over Jordan Booth. Brendan Hayes still in third. Corey Ennis and Jacob Mousseau there round out the top 5 with the biggest movers of the race. Jordan Booth up 13 positions. Eddie Musso Jr. up 13 positions. And Michael Whitley Jr. and Joe Musso up 10 positions respectively. So good to see those drivers moving up through the field. In a race like this, you have to move up through the field. So excited to see those guys do that. We expect pit stops to come somewhere within the next 20 or so laps. The driver who had the best time on pit road that last time was your leader, the 77 of Corey Bunch, in that Benjamin Moore Ford Mustang, leading the pack as this race goes from day to night. It is currently now 7:37, so we've advanced almost 3 full hours here in the sim.
That's one of those amazing things you can actually do with iRacing, for sure.
Yeah, it's advancing 3 hours is quite a bit. I mean, it was just 4 o'clock. Now it's almost 8 o'clock here.
Wow.
On iRacing, yeah, and so we will be racing into the night for sure.
Got some earlier reports. We're talking about Alex for Jay Ruby getting that meatball flag earlier on. He apparently had wall contact, and unfortunately that gave him some wheel damage from what we were hearing.
Interesting.
So, yep. Jumping back here and looking at this pack of cars running in, this is like 6th, 7th, and 8th here. Jacob Uso is there in 5th. But he's got the 10 of Broadback, Bostic, all right there on his tail. Good showing by the 67 of Corey Ennis. He's moved up to 4th.
Yeah, up 7 spots.
Yep.
Our 3rd biggest movers of the race.
Speaking of big
Tied
movers, let's not rule out Michael Whitley. He's up 10. And the 26 of Eddie Musso Jr., he is now up 13, tied with Jordan Booth.
Yeah, it's impressive to do that here at Richmond. You got to be pretty darn good to be able to pull off some of those numbers. Unfortunately, biggest loser of the race was Jordan Winsel, who is not in the race anymore, but Matt Piracini down 12 spots, and Alex Murphy and Tyler Lim down 11.
All right, lap 109 in the books as we continue to have a great race. Thanks again for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the iNRS Racing Series. Truly so far an excellent race here at Richmond by these guys. Knocking wood as I say that.
Rick, we know what happens when we start talking and becoming all wishful. It typically doesn't work out, but hey, I'm going to knock on wood myself just to make sure, as we saw some smoke as we say that. So.
Yeah, a little bit of contact, and that's expected. Here at lap 110, most of these drivers pitted last around lap 68, so they've got some miles on these tires.
They definitely do, and we should be expecting pit stops happening roughly within the next 10 laps, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know. We did have that caution, so that may extend that time out. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, 10 to 15, maybe even pushing 130. That would definitely be an interesting stint on the back end. Corey Bunch out of
Lafayette. Yeah.
Or Lafayette. Or Lafayette. Actually, that's technically different. It's from Tennessee. He's a Tennessee boy. There we go. Shout out.
That's a home state guy for you, buddy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'll always support it. Whoever's driving the 24 from Tennessee, I'll support you, no matter what you do. So I'll be in favor of Corey Bunch tonight and Matt Perusini, the driver of the 24. But Corey's doing a great job out front there in that Mustang. Been putting on a clinic tonight, led almost every single lap. I mean, I would argue he probably has led every single lap. I can't see the lap count right now, but I would imagine he would be out there.
So it looks like the city of Lafayette in Campbell County is the correct pronunciation.
Gotcha.
Learn something new every day.
Yep, you do. Even about your home state. Even about your home state for sure.
All right, Corey continues to really put a gap on these guys. 2 seconds over Booth, almost 5 seconds over Hayes, plus 7 over Musso. You can see by our track map in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, this field is a little spread out, which frankly we would expect at this stage of the game. Looking back through the field, we're trying to find some other action happening. On this field is running nose to tail in single file as the afternoon sun fades into dusk here at Richmond. All right, so if you pitted last on lap 68, that puts you at 50 laps on these tires.
Yeah, these tires are not happy. They're falling off about a second. but they're still not happy out there with these drivers pushing 50 laps on them. So we'll see who the first taker is going to be on pit road as the sky looks almost green. That was an interesting color, but it was yellow and orange.
Nice sunset coming. So the 24 on his brakes there, and that tells me that's the first indication that you're beginning to push pretty heavy. You've got to maybe rethink your line a bit as your tires begin to go away.
Yeah, and this is when you start to see drivers just explore, see, okay, what has a little bit more grip than what I've been used to. So we'll see these guys move around quite a bit, like we're seeing the 24 now moving to the high side.
43 on pit road. 43 on pit road. That's Garrett Walden, first taker.
First taker on pit road. That's going to be interesting to see how that shapes out.
You know, we've gone back and we've debated on multiple races. Do you pit early? Do you pit later? You know, but if you just did 52 laps on your tires, 52, 122, that's going to put you right at 175 for your next time down, barring any cautions.
Yes, barring the big C word.
That's right.
They are cautions, yep. And so we'll see what happens. Garrett Walden, the first driver to come down pit road, about the time that I thought drivers were going to make their way down. So we will see who is going to be the next taker for some new tires and some fuel. Fuel will definitely get you to the end of the race by far. Or excuse me, that is incorrect. That would not make it to the end. My math was off. You will have to come down pit road, but depending on when these guys come down pit road, I'm curious how far they're going to stretch this. I don't think they can make it a one stop. That's bold, but maybe they can. Looks like he is not shifting there. See if he shifts going down the front stretch. Towards the back end, he's just going to redline it. Nope, shifts in the fifth.
We're around the start-finish line. And just lets off. So he's just got that one shift at the start-finish line.
And he's very smooth. A very smooth driver of Corey Bunch. If you're an F1 fan, you could say he is a smooth operator. Shout out to Carlos Sainz. If you have an idea what I'm talking about, I appreciate you for that one. If not, that is an F1 reference. Either way, these drivers are actually putting out very impressive lap times, very smooth driving, and still no takers down pit road, which is close to 60 laps. So we will see.
That's 61 laps.
Yeah, could they go the distance if they just wait a couple more laps?
That's 190 if you add it up. Maybe you can stretch it out. Maybe the 43 of Walden was just he was just saying, okay, enough's enough. I can't drive it anymore. It's too loose. But if he splits the difference, if he gets to 135, he can do it on this one stop.
Absolutely. Which I always have found myself when there is a pit stop within the last 10 laps and you have to make that stop, a caution flies. Every race that I've been in, it's just been the luck of the draw. Something always seems to happen, but never know. That may not happen here as
lights
we are now.
Lights are on here at Richmond.
Yes, they are. We have now pretty much officially converted over to a night race.
Let's bring up the weather information. Let's change our track temperature. Track temperature is 86 degrees, air temp 77.
Very nice.
Your leader has now caught up to the tail end of the field. So he has got potentially some people that may not want to go a lap down.
No, they're going to be battling. You know, they'll be giving everything they got to stay in front here. They do not want to be put a lap down because, you know, if that C word happens, oh, watch out. Now you're getting a little bit bunched up. 43 on fresher tires. 77 has to concede that spot. I guess he doesn't have to, but
You did.
right thing to do if you're the leader. Don't want to hold up too many guys. But we're about to get to that point. I mean, you may be able to split this stage. Split this into the race here.
You absolutely can. So whatever,
Yeah.
whenever, wherever he goes in, he's good to go.
Now, my thought is, Rick, is Garrett Walding banking you can go 80 laps?
These guys know better than us. Our math clearly is not correct as to how far they can go.
It's not. I mean, 60% fuel. I thought I did my math right. And it's a mile track, or 0.75 technically. 68. .6 is what my math tells me. But we're, what now, 72? No, we're about...
We're at 69.
Yeah.
Well, 69 plus there was a caution. Oh,
Oh,
car
wrecking,
spinning,
wrecking,
24.
Well,
Caution
doesn't matter
down.
what you do now.
Nope. And unfortunately, the 22 of Ty Bostic was coming down pit road at that time.
Did he make it? He's going down.
Yep, he is having service.
Yep. So Rick, I was doing math off of a mile-long track, which would have been 51 and a half laps.
Ah, there we go.
When I adjust it,
They're good.
yeah. When I adjust it, it's 68.8.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the iNRS Racing Series.
ACE HTI provides residential and commercial smart security systems, audiovisual solutions, TV mounting and installation, access control, and surveillance systems. In addition, our networking division can provide home and business Wi-Fi networking. All of these systems can be remotely managed through our ACE HTI applications and cloud-based solutions. When you need more than a website or trying to Google an answer, reach out to ACE HTI. Our crack team of experts and technical support specialists can provide you answers when you need it the most. During business hours, you can reach our in-house help desk for those quick and easy fixes that can save you money. After hours and over the weekend, you can use our 24/7 emergency tech line. Our operator will get a technician on the phone with you within minutes. ACE HTI service area includes both North and South Carolina. Reach out to us today at 336-941-3171 or via email at info@ace-hti.com.
All right, we are on board with Corey Bunch here under caution here. He can hear him. He is saving fuel.
Well, by our new calculations, I think he should. With the math that we have to go, 69 laps to go.
So pretty much everybody came in that time. There are still a couple drivers on pit road. Alex Forget Baruby in the 19 and the 99 of Tyler Lem are in on pit road. Lights are still on the pace car, so we've got at least another lap to go before we get back to green flag racing. But going on board again with the 77 of Bunch. That quietness that you hear is because he has shut off that engine. He's got a little bit of speed. See his RPMs are pretty low. He's in 5th gear. And then he'll shut it off.
Yep, saving as much as he can. All right, here we go.
41 of Booth on the outside.
Yep. Pace car makes a hard dip down. Green flag back into the air. 77 out to a great restart as the field will now fight their way into turn 1 again.
Yeah, be prepared. It's, again, cold tires. Last stage, it's all or nothing here for the next 66 laps.
Oh, got some cars side by side there. That's the 10 and the 67 of Coriolis and Vernon Broadbeck. You got some big moves being made right there. The 25 trying to block the run of the 67.
Still battling tight, car spinning.
Car spun.
Caution's out for Vince Burns in the 55. Guy,
and the 22.
Yep, the 22 is involved. It's Ty Bostic.
Somebody just called out a dive bomb into turn 3.
Well, that wouldn't be surprising. Let's go back and take a look.
We'll see if that statement is accurate.
Well, let's back that up just a little bit. There's contact right there with the 26 and the 55. See if I can reposition our camera. We'll see. So you see the 26 up high. That's Alex Murphy to the inside in that black 30. We're behind the 26 of Eddie Musso Jr., who does kind of drive in pretty deep under, unfortunately, 55. There's contact, which does cause the 55 to spin. 30 tries to go under, gets by.
Here's a 22. How'd the 22 get in this?
So the 5 tapped the 55. He tried just to avoid it, and unfortunately, victim of circumstance. Just kind of spun a little bit, but doesn't look like a lot of damage or contact. Just some worn off rubber.
And there has been a verdict. Eddie Musso Jr., driver to the 26, is given an EOL. So my assumption is that was because of the incident there with Vince Burns. Yep.
That would make perfect sense based on that. He did try to take a position that may or may not have been there. All right, lap 147 in the books here. We're going back sometime around lap 150 here for the final bit of the iNRS Racing Series here at Richmond. Corey Bunch is your leader. We are going to take a quick commercial break. we will be back in a minute.
Welcome to the New York Pizzeria in Cato, New York. The New York Pizzeria has been bringing Central New York the best meals and snacks in the business for generations. Located at the four corners of State Routes 34 and 370, the New York Pizzeria is easy to find and impossible not to love. Aside from delicious pizza served to go or in-house, the food is always fresh and made by the local and talented staff. The New York Pizzeria prides itself on dishes including always fresh pizza by the pie, slice, or sheet with all the topping options you could want. The one-of-a-kind, Jenny Wings. A mild, sweet and sour take on traditional bone-in or boneless chicken wings. And fresh-to-order garlic cheese bread, chicken parm subs and a prime variety of cold beverages. Do yourself and a legendary local business a favor and have what is truly one of the originals. The New York Pizzeria, order today.
Terrible timing and everything.
All right, welcome back to the iNRS Racing Series. We are soon to go back to green flag racing after our 5th caution of the night. Really 4 cautions. A little bit of contact with the 26 of Eddie Musso Jr. and the 55 of Vince Burns.
You know, there's one thing that I have not said is the T word, and it ends in a D. Green flag back in the air, and it is trends. I like the trend tonight. I really am a big fan of that trend.
Yep.
Here about 35 and a half laps or so per caution, maybe a little bit more.
Unfortunately, a little bit of a spin right there. There's the 42 of Tony Japs.
I'm not saying another word about that trend.
Nope.
Nothing else.
He kept it together, but they are 3 wide now. The 40, I see. It was the Michael Whitley, but maybe it wasn't Michael Whitley. No, it was the 99 of Tyler Lem, as they are still 3 wide.
Close to 43, the 42, and the 99. All right there.
Guys, you still got 48 laps to go.
Yeah. Just a few laps. Just a few. Got some hard racing going on in the front, too. Got the 67 and the 10 battling side by side there with Michael Whitley now battling his way up into potentially the top 5 as this race closes down. Under 50 to go here. Car way up high. That's a 30 again.
Oh, that's the 96. Does he come back up, though?
No, he stayed on the bottom side of the track. Everything's good. Right in front of the 19.
Settle in, guys. Settle in. 5 of Richard Mills was in the pits. He's back out on the track.
Oh, caution in the back. Caution in the back of the field. Got the 19 turn around backwards.
There's the 96 of Mike Wheel beneath. 42 is up high. That's Tony Japs. And there is contact.
Yeah, I think the 42 came. I don't know. I mean, did the 19 come up or did the 42 come down?
We're in the cockpit with the 42. I'm watching that bit of yellow tape. We're in the wing with the 19. Sorry. We need to get in with the 42.
Yeah, we'll know. If that wheel is turned to the right, if that tape is to the right at all, we know he was. Yeah, man, there it is.
Well, this is the 42.
Yeah, he's trying to correct the car and gets into the 19.
Yep, unfortunately. All right. Our 6th caution.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said the T word. Darn it.
It's all good. All right, a little bit of rash of cautions here around lap 150 something. But, you know, it's really that time. If you're in the back there or mid-pack, and if you're trying to do anything, you've really got to get it going now because 3/4 of this race is over, and if you're, you know, the stage points are done, it's all about finishing position. And if you're,
it is, and if you're in the, yeah,
I was going to bring up those playoff points. You know, if you're Joseph Musso, Matt Pericini, Vince Burns is right there at the cutoff. He's in 17th, 5 outside of the 42 of Japs. We just saw Japs involved in that incident. We saw the 55 of Vince Burns involved in the previous incident.
yeah,
Right
it's
now,
going to be close. It's going to be close for that final spot for sure.
Yep, but this is not the last race. They do have time. All right, just 42 laps to go, about 40 laps under green left as once this caution goes back to green flag racing.
All right, should be 1 to go.
It's like preseason football started tonight.
Yes, it did. Patriots and the Panthers. Rick, do you what happened with that game? The last time I saw, I think the Patriots were up 7-0.
I think they finished 17-3. So, yep. So,
It's preseason.
Yeah. Born in New England, living in Carolina. So, yeah, you know, it is what it is.
At this point, it is what it is.
I just can't get excited for preseason football.
I can't either. I watch unless if there's like a player that's come up and, you know, if it's like a rookie who's going to be playing in the preseason, I'll tune in, but oftentimes I don't. Green flag back in the air here at Richmond. Field side by side now, diving into turn 1, coming out of turn 2. Battles all throughout the track. Now 3 wide, potentially for second place. Brendan Hayes doesn't want to do that to his teammate.
10 of Vernon Broadback took that outside line. We're still 2 wide.
But yeah, no, I agree. Preseason football is like I said, unless you're watching a specific player that's coming out of college that you know is going to get reps. It's an interesting
Yep.
little bit of time before football kicks in. So, real football for the regular season.
A little bit of contact there in the back amongst these drivers as they're working their way back up to 96 there. He's got 26 behind him. A lot of action back through this field as these drivers try to work their way. That's 96 is up high on the outside.
Corey Anderson in 94 just made some contact before they got into turn 3. This battle is getting pretty fierce up here. That is for P5.
Back up
They are
from Michael
side by
Whitley
side.
in the 94.
You got drivers diving it in very, very deep into these corners. Oh, car hit the wall. I believe that was a 95. Excuse me, 94.
Car in the back spinning. But I think he straightened it out before it got too far out of control. We stay green with 35 to go.
Stay green with 35 to go, and the battle is still pretty fierce. So contact between the 15 and the 25. 15 saves it. Oh, 30 way loose.
Yep, thought he was going to tag the back of the 15. 3 wide behind him, though.
You know, I gotta say, side-by-side racing in a pack format at Richmond is, like, probably one of the worst positions that I want to be in as a race car driver. Like, if I was on track, it's just one of the tracks that I don't want to have that happen. 30 dives really deep into 3, makes some contact, completely just moves the 3 out of the way.
Field all stacked up there. That's the 30 of Alex Murphy. He is in 17th position, trying to race his way back up to the front. He is on a mission to get back. 20 is inside. Yeah, that is a way.
It is a way. No harm, no foul. I thought I heard some friendly chatter over the radio, so they should be okay.
Back up front, the 10 of Vernon Broadback has made his way around the 40 of Brendan Hayes. And it looks like he has set his sights on the 41 as he tries to pursue second place. Can't miss sight of that with just 30 laps to go. Corey Bunch continues to lead. We are racing deep and hard after go back to these other top 10 positions.
Still side by side.
Yeah, back here, Alex Murphy. You get the 42 of Tony Japs and the 22 of Bostic there. His way around, and now he sets his sights on the 22. Again, that is racing for the 16th slot.
Every spot matters here, especially towards the end of the season with the playoffs on the line. Oh, car sideways. That's 99. He's still sideways.
Still sideways. Tyler Lem.
Caution's out on the track with 26 laps to go.
You caught a good
And
bit of that.
This changes
live.
everything.
Yeah.
So you go back and take a look.
He got tapped by the 96, unfortunately.
And he Tokyo drifted all the way through turn 1 and turn 2. Got hit by the 43.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got the leaders not on pit road. Oh, 41 and the 40 down pit road. But you have some drivers who stayed out. Uh-oh.
Including your leader, Bunch, Broadbeck, Corey Ennis. They're all out. This must be a gamble for tires here.
Now we have a race on our hands. And Rick, just to tell you a little bit of context about the tire situation here, the last lap under green, Corey Bunch ran a 22.7 and a 22.8. His fastest lap of the race was a 22.3. Whereas Jordan Booth, 22.4 fastest lap. So are those tires going to be worth it? I mean, with only, let's see, how many drivers stayed out? About 8 or 9? That's, the track position is going to be tough to make up.
Well, we've seen Jordan Booth do this before. This will probably set him back into 10th. So on a restart, fresh tires, You got to make your way around. So
Richmond is not a place that I would bank on that, though, because of how the cautions fly, the lack of potential green flag laps at the end of a race. It's a gamble. I love fresh tires if you have them, but it all depends on how far the other drivers can go, what the other drivers can do from a tire perspective, because, did the 77 push as hard as he could? We're about to see with some lap times, and so
we did show that the EOL to the 96 for that incident. So.
Yep, that is correct. I just saw that come across.
But what this does do is now you've got Bunch and Broadbeck. That is your front row. Corianis, Joe Musso, row 2. Jacob Musso, Tony Japs, row 3. Alex Jose Ruby, Eddie Musso Jr., row 4. Michael Whitley and Jordan Booth, that is row 5. And that is where you begin to see the first driver who took fresh tires.
Is it possible? Yeah, it's 100% possible. And you got to think that this caution helped out those guys on fuel, that need fuel too. So, I think with 22 to go, if there's not, the big thing is passing, and burning up your stuff, and then cautions, and so it's going to be a close one. If I had to make a choice, I would want to stay out front here. Track position obviously can be made up, but we're about to figure out who has a better strategy. The guys who came down on pit road on 175 or the 8 drivers who stayed out. Pace cars down and green flag back in the air here at Richmond. As we start to see this field dive into turn 1. First car on fresh tires, Jordan Booth on the outside, trying to make his way around.
He's going to need a little bit of time to get the heat in those tires, and also to let this field stretch out a little bit.
Oh, we're wrecking. Oh, we got wrecked. Oh, boy. Rick, that is not what needed to happen there.
Tony Japs also involved. Not sure how this is all going to play out. Let's go back and see if we can figure out what happened here. Was it the 41?
42 got loose, came down in front of the 94, and then just gap closed.
There's his teammate. Glancing blow. There's the 12 of Jeffers. 43 hard hit into the back of the 41 as well. And something happened back here. Let's back this up.
I think that was the car that spun. That was the 42. He spun off the nose of the 94.
Yep, there we go. All right, 18 laps to go. We are back under caution. Unfortunately, that gamble has now put the 41 of Booth involved in that incident and now trapped back in 14th.
See, that's what I was... the caution can come out so quick, and it's just wrong place at the wrong time for the 41. Unfortunate there. Now the first car that has the best tires is actually his teammate, Brendan Hayes, up there in P8.
Well, good opportunity to make his way back into this series. Haven't seen him in a few races, and here he goes. We'll see. All right. That's lap 16. We are still under caution, so that means 15, 14. We'll go back to green with 14 laps. Should make for a very, very interesting finish here. I think with these cautions, it's not going to matter much for these guys up front. They did not go in, but they're not going to need to.
Exactly. It's going to help them with their tires. It's going to help them with their fuel for sure.
All right, our 8th caution of the night. Caused by just a little bit of some contact back there in the field. Spun some drivers, but unfortunately took out the driver who we were watching make an attempt at a run to get back up front. That was the 41 of Booth.
All right, here we go. Are we going to see another caution, or are we going to go green all the way through? We're about to find out. Green flag back in the air. Field stacks up quite a bit in the back. We are back to green flag racing here with just 14 laps to go. The car with the freshest tires is the 40 of Brendan Hayes there, sitting in P8, trying to get his way through this field. Got a lot of guys in front of him. We'll see if he's able to do it. Trying to make his way around the 26 now. 13 to go.
A lot of battles up at the front. Car in the wall.
Is that the 41?
That's the 41, I think.
Oh, we got 3 wide for second place. This could get interesting. 40 has made his way up into the field. Now into P6. He's going to try to get around the 19. 19 trying to battle off the corner. 19 is still there.
Side by side with the 67 and the 25.
Now it's just 11 laps to go. The 40 of Brendan Hayes trying to get around these cars who have not as fresh tires. Gets around the 28 for 5th place.
But what could
Now
change this entire field is what's happened. There's just a lot of action happening back in the pack amongst these guys.
40 gets sideways. 40 gets tapped by the 28, I believe.
He
Sideways
saves
through the field. He saved it, though. What a great save.
Welcome back.
I take that back. There was no tap. There was no tap at all. 40 just lost it.
Back
Look
up
at the
front.
replay to see what happened.
Corey Bunch continues to take a good lead. The 10 of Vern Broadback right there, 3rd place. Corey Ennis, he's got his hands full with the 25 in his rear view mirror, trying to chase down 3rd with just 8 laps to go.
8 laps to go in the car with the best tires is the 12 of Eric Jeffers, trying to get around the 28 now. He is currently 2.75 seconds behind the leader, who just ran a 22.5 and a 22.6, 0.3 off. By math, those numbers aren't going to work in the favor of the 12. There's not enough time left as he still battles side by side with the 28. Clears. Now we got some good drivers battling side by side there. That is the 55 of Vince Burns making a nice comeback back a bit of the top 10.
Yep, he's under the 28 of Joe Musso. 5 laps to go.
5 laps to go, and that gap is slowly increasing for the 77 of Corey Bunch over Vernon Broadbeck there.
This is the battle up here for the last position on the podium between the 67 of Corey Ennis and the 25 of Jacob Musso.
And don't forget about the 19. 19's there too.
He has found his way back up. That's the 19 of Alex Forget Ruby sitting in 5th.
That 12 now the outside of the 19 coming off the corner. Loose.
To say the least.
3 laps to go. And this race is far but over for these positions here on back. Now 2 laps to go at the line. The battle is on for second place. Third place. Corey Ennis, Jacob Musso, Alex Forget Berube, all right there. 25 trying to get around.
They're all on older tires, although the 19 is slightly newer. He pitted on lap 157.
All right, here it is. White flag in the air for the 77 of Corey Bunch, leading this race.
Handily.
He's put on a clinic. He's put on an absolute clinic here tonight. Makes his way into turn 3 for the final time, coming out of turn 4. Tennessee boy gonna win here at Richmond. In second place, Vernon Broadbeck. And in third, Corey Ennis has I think we have a wreck in the back on turn 4. Big wreck out of 4.
See the 3 of Ron Fitting in the wall. 55 of Vince Burns also involved.
Oh no, he was battling up there in 6th. What happened? We'll go back and take a look. Oh boy.
Yeah,
we got to back this one up. Uh-oh.
It's like the contact with the 43. Oh.
Man, just a pinball. I mean, everybody, big stack up. Jeez.
That's terrible.
Tough break for Vince Burns. He's not going to like his finishing position after where he was in that portion of the race. But your winner, Corey Bunch, bringing home the dub back to Tennessee. And that is your Cookout 200 results presented by the iNASCAR Racing Series. Corey Bunch brings home the victory with Vernon Broadbeck in P2, Corey Ennis in P3. Be sure to stick around. We were going to interview all 3 of those drivers. Jacob Musso finishes in 4th. Alex Forget Berube finishes in 5th. Eric Jeffers in 6th. Garrett Walden in 7th. Austin Walton in 8th. Joe Musso in 9th. And Alex Murphy in 10th.
Michael Whitley finishes in 11th. Brendan Hayes in 12th. Clark Franz in 13th. In 14th, Eddie Musso Jr., Ty Bostic in 15th, Jordan Booth in 16th, and Tyler Lem in 17th. In 18th, Tony Japs, 19th, Mike Wheel, and 20th, Ron Fitting.
In 21st, Vince Burns, 22nd, Martin Pinnell, 23rd, Richard Mills, 24th, Matt Piercini, 25th, Jordan Winslow, 26th, Dan Hughes, and 27th, Scott Thomas.
All right. We are looking for our 3rd place finisher of Mr. Corey Ennis. He has not made it yet into the booth, but when he does, we will bring him to you. Let's see if we can track him down. Here we go. Well, his mic is muted. Let's see if we can... Well, we do have Vernon. Let's see if we can grab Vernon, and if he makes it in the booth, we'll bring him in.
Sounds good.
Oh, there he is. Hang on one second. Vernon, we're going to bring in Corey. Corey, congratulations on your P3 finish. And if you may not realize it, I think your mic is muted.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Congratulations on your finish. Man, that was a hard charge towards the back half of that race.
Oh, yeah, it was rough. Had old tire. I think we had like 60 lap old tires. It was fun. It was fun.
Well, I mean, we were looking through drivers who have done well in tracks like this. What was your thoughts here coming into Richmond?
Honestly, I had high hopes. First of all, I have to shout out Jordan Booth. He gave me some good pointers during the week. I messaged him and let him know I was interested in getting a little bit better, and he worked with me and actually gave me a lot of stuff to help me out saving tires and stuff like that, and I think it worked out tonight.
Well, congratulations. It certainly looks like it definitely paid off tonight for sure. You were able to take out a podium finish. Congratulations to you. And any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my team, first of all, obviously. GKM, Short Fuse Motorsports, Eddie, Jake, Joe. I really respect those guys, and they're the ones that brought me in here. And it's been fun racing with them. I got to shout out Jacob because he raced me really clean at the end there. He definitely could have passed me and dumped me for third place, but he raced me clean. And Regiment Gaming's a veteran gaming team. That's my sponsor. I appreciate all those guys, and shout out to everybody watching.
All right, well, congratulations on your P3 finish. That's Corey Ennis in the 67, finishing up here at Richmond. And Vernon Broadback was our second place finisher. Vernon, congratulations. Great finish tonight, P2.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. That was a hard-working finish there. Definitely had to earn it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had all kinds of action here with some long green flag runs. Cautions came at early cautions were kind of few and far between, but then we had that rash of them towards the end there.
Yeah, the long green flag runs it was awesome. Don't get me wrong, but man, did I just burn the right front off. I was running fourth, I think, before the stage, and then as we got closer to the end, I think I fell back to 12th. It was rough, but it's good to see green flag running.
Yep, absolutely. Especially after the spring race where we saw 18 cautions pepper themselves throughout the event. We were pretty pleased with the results for tonight for sure.
Oh, absolutely. That was a huge improvement from the spring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you qualified well. You're up there at top 5 and finishing P2. That's a great finish here for certain. Any shout outs tonight besides what we had mentioned earlier?
I'd shout out to Red Runner Motorsports. Clark and Vince, those guys are fun to drive with and race with. I think Vince got turned there at the end. Otherwise, he was on his way to an easy top 10. I know Clark finished 13th, so that's great for him. But and then shout out to Josh and Scott, their league. They do a great job. It's continuing to improve. I mean, 8 cautions, 7 actual cautions is a huge improvement from 18. And then give a shout out to the Hot Lap, a podcast that Clark fans runs. I'm part of the group that speaks. We talk about everything that iNRS carries on Thursday night. So shout out to them too.
There you go. Well, if you're listening here tonight, tune into that podcast and listen to the recap of tonight's event.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously a shout out to you guys. You guys do a phenomenal job putting on a great show.
Thank you so much. All right, that's your second place finisher, Werner Brodbeck, in the number 10. And on to our winner, Corey Bunch. Man, that was your race, dude.
I can't believe that, man. That's freaking huge. We go from the spring race, and it was just a caution fest, but I led most of the laps and won the race there. But I wasn't expecting this. So this is just awesome. I can't believe it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had a couple cautions peppered in, but hey, I'll take 8 over 18 any day. But certainly, you guys made a change in the rules, took away that quick repair. I think that puts a little bit more, not a lot, a little bit of attention being paid, some conservative approaches, risk reward kind of a analysis as a driver, and it showed. It showed.
Yeah, and I think that's what, because going into this race, I told myself, I said, all right, we have to qualify at least in the top 5 to at least have a chance, because we don't know how this race is going to go. And shockingly enough, I made it to pole, and then once the race started going and I felt my rhythm, once you get up there and I started gapping second place on down, I was like, well, I could just take it down 3 notches and then still be okay, and exactly what I did, and still pulled away from everybody. So it's just a testament of just this race team, just this car, to go back to back, that's pretty awesome. I can't complain one bit.
Absolutely not. All right, well, any shout outs tonight, Corey?
I got to thank Full Throttle Motorsports for all the teamwork and team effort, and so we had some mixed finishes per se, but bring this number 77 Steak and Shake Benjamin Moore Ford Mustang home in one piece. I don't know how many laps I led. I think I led all of them, which that's just stupid dominance if that's the case. Either way, pole to checkered, I'll take it any day. And I said appreciate Scott and Josh for the league. They keep making things for the better, and one of those main things was the fast repairs. So it's kind of made the racing a little better. So I'm, they're still working hard on that. So I appreciate them and appreciate you guys for the broadcast. Just as always, it's always nice to be able to have an audience to showcase your stuff, and I'm just to try to get over how we won this race. I mean, I was just content of just finishing in one piece. Have a good day, and
yep.
Here we are, just smoked everybody.
Well, there you have it. Congratulations to your winner, Mr. Corey Bunch, here at Richmond. John, any parting words tonight?
Just want to say shout out to Corey, from one Tennessee boy to another. Hell yeah, way to go. And make sure to tune in next week as we will be in Michigan for the Firekeepers Casino 200. That's going to be a completely different racetrack like Richmond, or what Richmond is. And so it'll be fun, high-paced, high speeds. So make sure to tune in next week for that same broadcast network, same time, here with John, myself, and Rick.
All right. Thanks again for tuning in to the IWM broadcast, and we'll see you next week. Take care.